In a podcast land where thoughts collide, Brian and Craig will be your guide. No topic too small, no tale too tall. Tune in, laugh out, you'll have a ball. From mysteries deep to light-hearted jokes in a poker rhythm where laughter invokes. Untitled is their name, the fun untamed. Each episode a ride, this shows their claim. Untitled, Brian and Craig, get ready for a twist and a leg shake. In a quirky world where anything goes, join the ride as the madness flows.
Oh my God. 5 weeks. That is a month and 7 days.
A week. A week, yeah, a month and a week.
Month and a week. There we go.
The math is mathing.
The math is mathing, yes. We need to do the math. You're much better at it than I am, clearly.
Wow. That is saying really not much about you or me, because my math is... I can count to 5, though, so this is a new record. We've never done 5 episodes before, so we've set a new record in our timeline of the most episodes ever. I guess we'll do that every time we ever record, but it still feels noteworthy. 5. It's like halfway to a round number.
Yeah, I feel like 5 is good. I mean, 5 is halfway to base 10 in the metric system. So there you go. Which, I've lamented, was it the first episode, that I don't think we'll ever adopt literally anything. How many French fries to freedom?
We discussed inchworms on that episode. I remember this. So
yes. And a qubit. Oh no, that might have been the next episode.
No, that was it. It was either episode 2 or 3. I don't know. Who can keep track? We've done so many.
We've done so many, guys. There's a pile. Just dig deep into our archives. You'll find some good stuff, I'm sure.
That's right.
I'm of course Brian Dunnigan, still.
Yeah, and I am Craig Dodge, still, even to this day. So
except for that one time in 1995.
No, I'm still Craig. We've discussed it.
It's true. So Craig, what happened? What happened to you this past week? What did you do?
What happened to you? You sound like, where did the Batman touch you?
Yeah, that sounded pretty bad. It's like, now Craig, I want you to show me on this doll.
That's right. Yeah, if you hand me a doll, we're done. That's it. I'm finished. I had a really good Sunday last week. I went to the Broncos game with my son, and the Broncos won. They played the worst team in the league, but they still won. And then as we were walking, a win is a win. We'll take it. Yeah, any win in the NFL is good. And then as we were walking back to the car, we saw that a bunch of people were walking into Ball Arena, and we're like, oh, I think the Avs play tonight, because everybody was wearing their Avs jerseys. So I pulled up and found that I could get ridiculously cheap tickets for that night's game. And so I turned to my son and hey, want to go to the Avs game too? And he said yes. And so I called my wife and I'm like, hey, we're going to be home really late. And yeah, he and I went, and we had brisket tater tots for dinner from, I don't know, some place that sold brisket tater tots inside the arena. And yeah, got to watch the Avs win as well. So that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that tremendously. And then I've just been slowly riding the stream of inevitability towards next Tuesday, as we all have. And we should note, we are recording this November 2nd, so we were 3 days ahead of the election, which I bring up only because, well, I'll let you explain why I'm bringing that up, Brian. What happened to you this week, though, first?
Yeah, so, man, not a lot of good things, but I'm glad. Well, some good things, mostly like a holding pattern. As you know, I'm trying to sell a house, buy a house. It's a whole mess.
The whole thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing that the Broncos won. We really like Bonix, which is the QB for Bo Nix. He actually found his legs, unlike Russell Wilson. Not to dunk on Russell Wilson, but
no, you can dunk on Russell Wilson. That's fine.
I mean, yeah. Broncos fans, I'm sure you know, are feral. I don't think you don't seem like you're one of the feral Broncos fans, but there are some people I know that are like, Russell Wilson is the Antichrist, and it's like, dude, it's just a sports team. It's just a sports team.
That seems a bit far. I've never liked Russell Wilson, but I don't think he's trying to bring about the end of humanity. So
true, but anyways, so this week, oh man, just cleaning house, packing stuff, talking with 2 different realtors. We did have an open house, or not an open house, a showing that we were super excited about. So we get our house all ready. We spend, a couple hours cleaning up all that stuff, getting all of our pets taken care of. Bro rolls up in like an '03 Mustang. Looks around, looks at a sheet of paper, looks at the house, doesn't even go in the backyard, comes in and just starts talking trash. It was just all bad. And we leave snacks out because we're nice. And this guy ate all our Nutrigrain bars. Who goes into a house, talks a bunch of shit, and then eats the snacks?
Eats all the snacks. Yeah, that's
it's like,
not
dude,
cool.
what? And then, because I have cameras throughout, and I just put him to mute because I don't want to get 100 different notifications, right? And he goes, well, I hope they heard everything. And I'm like, dude.
What do you want us to do? Like, we're trying to sell the house. This is the house. If you don't like it, that's fine, but you don't have to be a jerk about
Exactly.
it.
Like, I don't go to your job and tell you how to do your job or like scream at you or drink all your coffee and eat all your fucking Cheetos. Like, I don't know, man. Some people. But the reason I bring that up, okay, so good news. As Craig said, we are recording this on a Saturday. We had our open house this Saturday, and we had 2 families come through. Good news is we might be able to get one of the families to buy the house. We're going to make a deal, see what happens. Obviously, they're doing other things, sleep on it. You know how it goes. So that was good.
It's a big decision.
Right. It's a big decision to buy a house. But yeah, I bring this up because the guy that ate all our snacks, which honestly, man, you probably were looking at this house knowing that you weren't going to buy it. You just wanted to look at a house. I get it. Some houses just aren't for you. I'm going through at the same time in Buffalo. Like, oh, this house has wallpaper from like 1891. Like, I don't want that. Like, but I mean, I'm not going to dunk on a house and then eat all their snacks.
Right.
Like,
maybe he was just hungry, Brian, so he decided to do the open house so that he could have some Nutri-Grain bars.
I mean, there's easier ways to get a free meal, though, I would think. Like,
maybe.
I knew a girl who would go on dates with guys so that she didn't have to buy dinner. But I bring that up because the guy had a Trump Vance sticker on his Mustang.
Of course he did.
And listen, this is the episode that Craig and I have been talking about back and forth for like 2.5 weeks now. And we're like, do we want to do it? Do we not want to do it? And I, the more boisterous of the two, was like, hey, let's just do it. Because, I mean, that's going to be what everybody's talking about. Let's just go for it. And I don't want to dump on Trump the whole time. Just the people that really buy into his whole shtick are like, it's like they have this, what's the word? They're given this
mental disorder.
Yeah, or they're given this permission to just act shitty, and it's kind of terrible. It's like they forget that, you know, there are people.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's take a break from this though. You know what time it is, Craig?
Hey,
it's time for the news.
Time for the news. We definitely have to get a soundboard or something,
yeah.
Because I don't have the emotional energy to make the news sounder today, so we're just gonna have to go with what we've got there.
That's fair.
But, yeah, very good. So Thessaloniki, Greece is where we set our scene. A Greek resident has been sentenced to a month in prison and mandatory counseling because he has been found guilty of entering homes to smell their shoes. Yeah, a judge in northern Greece on Thursday gave a man a suspended 1-month prison sentence. So it's suspended, so he might not actually have to serve it. But he was convicted of disturbing his neighbors by repeatedly sneaking into their properties to smell their shoes. Neighbors reported that he never caused any damage he was never threatening in any way to any of them as he entered their houses, and basically just ignored them, but made his way to the shoe area of the closet and just sniffed away deep inhales of shoe smell. And yeah, he never displayed any aggression during his nocturnal visits, but he did sneak into a house in the middle of the night, which is, I'm not going to lie, that's creepy. And he also, at one point, was some people had some wet shoes. So they left him out on their deck. He took advantage of this as well and went to their deck to sniff the shoes and entered several different houses until finally police were called when he went to one of them. And he was taken away and taken to prison. Well, not taken to prison. He was taken to jail where he appeared before a magistrate and then was found guilty of shoe sniffing, which apparently carries a 1-month prison sentence and mandatory counseling. I'm much more in favor of the mandatory counseling, if I'm being honest, than I am of the 1-month prison sentence. But wow.
I have so many questions.
Oh, I know, and that's about all that. I've given you pretty much all of the details from the AP story, so I'm afraid that your questions will all go unanswered, and we'll just have to figure out why a man wants to break into other people's houses and smell their shoes. This is the world we live in, Brian. There are people that will break into your house and smell your shoes. There's nothing you can do.
That's terrible. That's like, it's 9 p.m. Do you know where your shoes are? It's like, oh shit, I left them on the deck.
Oh no, they're on the deck. The weird guy is going to be sniffing him any second now.
Get the broom, kids. Creepy Bob's in the neighborhood.
I mean, as we know, we're not big fans of raccoons, but if there's ever been a point where it would be beneficial to have a rabid raccoon on your porch,
Yes, definitely.
this would be the situation.
Yeah. How do you, I mean,
Why do you? Under what circumstances was this okay in his head?
yeah. And I mean, listen, there's the internet for that, man. You could have done it legally.
I don't know. You can smell shoes on the internet. I don't know that that's an app that has been created yet.
Oh, I'm sure.
You think there's a shoe smelling app?
Oh yeah, like sneakersniffer.org or something.
Gross.
I mean, I went to Japan, admittedly almost 10 years ago, and they were selling in a vending machine used panties. So I imagine.
Wow.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Japan hits different, man. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you could buy all sorts of used shit. Like, there was one that was a bra. You could buy used bras.
I don't like this.
But like, I'm imagining there's a place that you can go, like some dark web site where you can
buy other people's shoes.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's probably true. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm sure. Like, just someone sweating around, walking around all day, no socks, put their shoes up for $30.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you could have my used shoes for $30 if you want to sniff them. That's your deal.
I'm okay, man.
I have typed into the URL page of my browser, sneakersniffer.com, and I'm about to hit go. And I may regret this.
Are you on a private? Wait. Are you browsing on private?
No, but I really should be, shouldn't I?
Really should.
Nope, we're just gonna. I'm living dangerously here. I may regret this.
All right.
Let's hit go. Let's see what happens.
All right.
Oh, it goes to hugedomains.com. So apparently that's available. Sneakersniffer.com is for sale.
Business opportunity. I'm just saying.
There you go. I'm not sure that's the way my entrepreneurial spirit wants to head. That direction seems fraught with peril. Peril I do not want to face.
And I'm sure there's some kind of like, oh God, what is it, like a biological thing? There's like some sort of like the FDA's got to get involved, I'd assume, somewhere in there. I mean, I feel like there's hurdle.
Holy hell. Okay, if you would like to register to buy sneakersniffer.com, you can buy it now for only $7,395, Brian.
That is what I call an investment.
It's almost, not to buy it at this point. Or maybe not. We'll just not. Maybe not.
Yeah, I think I would just leave that at lie. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'll let the next sneaker sniffer go ahead. Not the next. I am not a sneaker sniffer, so the first sneaker sniffer that wants to go to sneakersniffer.com and purchase that, they can have it.
Are you going on record to say, I, Craig Dodge, am not a sneaker sniffer?
I am going to go put that on the record, Brian Dunnigan, that I, Craig Dodge, do solemnly swear between God and man and everyone who's listening to Untitled with Brian and Craig, that I am not a sneaker sniffer.
Okay.
Are you willing to make that pledge as well?
I also am willing to make that pledge. I, Brian Dunnigan, solemnly swear between God and man and all government entities, I am not a sneaker sniffer.
All government entities. That covers a lot. I like it. Okay, we're good.
We're good.
We've avowed non-snicker sniffers?
Sneaker sniffers?
Snicker sniffers, snappers. I don't know what's happening.
I mean,
words are hard.
I just have one other thing about the news, though. Like, why didn't he just ask?
Does that make it less creepy and weird?
I think it would open up a dialogue. I would like to think it would open up a dialogue to like, hey man.
Oh, let's role play this here, Brian. You're gonna be a snicker sneaker. My God, you're gonna be the guy who smells shoes.
Okay.
I feel like Elmer Fudd here, and I'm gonna be just the guy who has a house that doesn't want someone breaking into it, and that we'll just open up a dialogue here, as you say, and see how that goes. So, give me your opening salvo for how you ask to sniff someone's shoes.
Excuse me, sir.
Well, yes.
I've noticed you've left your flip-flops out on the front deck.
Yeah, they're a little wet because we went out for a hike earlier and it was raining, so I've just left them out there so they can dry.
I can see can I trouble you to, can I just give them a quick sniff and I'll be on my way?
Okay, I knew it was coming and I don't know how to respond to that.
Okay, I suppose there's no real, like...
That's just weird. Would it be alright if I give him a quick sniff? That'll be on my jolly way.
Yeah, or you could just, I guess, not break into their house and just take a quick sniff on the deck and be on your way.
I think that's probably the way to go if you have to do it, but there's no real great way to do this, I don't think. Maybe if you do it with like a Cockney accent. Pardon me, governor. Be alright if I took a sniff of your shoe? I don't know that helps, but it feels better. It feels more appropriate for some reason.
You know,
as if someone with a Cockney accent would be more inclined inclined to be sniffing shoes, and it just would make sense more. I don't know why that is, but it's how it feels to me.
I think it's because we have conflated the Cockney accent with like people who are like chimney sweeps or like I guess lower on the socioeconomic ladder, and
Right. Therefore, more inclined to want to sniff feet.
they are more inclined to find interesting devices or interesting vices.
Mm.
Yes. I
Yes.
feel
What if this guy's like a really upstanding citizen, and he's like, you know how like there's like the old lady who's like, my only vice is I have to have my Diet Coke at 3:30 every afternoon, and he's like, I live clean, live sober, always good with my girl, don't cheat on her, pay my taxes. My one vice is I like to break into other people's houses and smell their shoes.
after a hard day of day trading, I like to sniff shoes.
A day trader feels so appropriate as well. A Cockney day trader. We're really narrowing in on exactly who this man is, even though he's living in Greece.
We're really building an FBI profile right now of this guy. Like we should be working for the federal government, like for real.
Yeah, we could totally. Yeah, if this was a guy that was on the lam, we've already done most of the work to find. I mean, they found him in Thessalonica and gave him a 1-month prison sentence. But hey, if they hadn't, just call him Brian and Craig, and we're there.
Brian and Craig, not attorneys at law.
Private investigators. If someone's sniffing your shoes, call the strong arm of no sniffing. I don't even know what we're trying to do here.
This is gone to shit, and I love it. Oh god. Oh, I'm tearing. I'm tearing up.
Oh, wait. Seems like a good place to drop. I'm Craig, and that's the news.
Oh god. Okay, we definitely needed that. So
yeah, that was good. So how's our political show going so far?
Pretty good. I like that was a good appetizer to get people in the door. Get them into the rally as it was before we play Ave Maria by fucking what's his name? Pavarotti.
I don't know why I'm singing Ave Maria. This is where we're.
I don't know.
We're good.
And then you just like sway kind of awkwardly.
Yes, but somewhat provocatively as well.
Yes. So, Craig, I'm sure you, like me, we've chatted about politics before, and
we have.
I know you know what's up, but there's so much going on and so much writing on this election, and this is like the one time that I can probably say that there's a lot writing on this election because of just like all the crazy stuff that's happened. I mean, it might be hard to believe, but COVID was 4 years ago, you know?
This is true.
So we all know how that turned out. And I just want to take a minute and say that I'm going to break your brain with Donald Trump.
That's the worst way to have your brain broken, I think, but I'm game. I'll be a good sport about it.
Yeah, and it's just and I told you before we started recording, I found a website that had 1,000 fact checks on Donald Trump, and it said it would take, what was it, 1 hour and 10 minutes to read it all. And I'm like, how do you just make that much? Like, how do you tell that much mistruth? Like, in a normal conversation, yeah, sure, you embellish things, you maybe change for comedic effect. Like, you know, it's a societal thing, it's a social thing, I get it. But like, not when you're the leader of one of the leaders of the free world. Like, do you remember when it was Hurricane Harvey? I think it was Harvey. One of those hurricanes he drew a Sharpie. And it was like, nope, it's going into Alabama. And they're like, yep. No, it's not going into Alabama. And he's like, shut up, it's going into Alabama. And they're just like,
I'm a Sharpie, and I'm the president, so it's going to Alabama. This is the power I hold.
Yeah, and meanwhile, you have people who are like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who are like, it's the Democrats and the Jews who are pulling the levers of the hurricane machine. And it's like,
that's not how this works.
Why would you willingly want a hurricane to go into another state and cause more damage, which costs more money? I just don't get it. My brain can't fathom these things sometimes. Let's start from the beginning. January 21st, 2017. He started everything off by saying he lied about the weather and saying it rained during his inaugural address. And he said it poured. I can safely say that there was video cameras everywhere, and it did not rain.
It's a weird thing to lie about. What are you like taking a badge of honor for getting wet?
Maybe he wanted it to get wet so he could sneak into the White House and sniff the staffers' shoes.
Oh, he doesn't have a Cockney accent, but it does feel like he might fit the profile.
He might fit the profile. I mean, he did have a bunch of stuff on Wall Street, so there's that.
Day trading. Yep.
I mean, we did mention the whole thing with was it the Sharpie Gate? That was pretty crazy. And then the whole COVID thing, it was totally under control.
It's gonna go away in like a week or two. It's gonna just disappear. Like it was never even there.
Coronavirus isn't a thing. It's not real. We'll be all over this soon. It's only in China, not in the great state of America. The great state of America?
It sounded natural with that voice, though.
You know,
The great state of America.
you just say things with confidence and people will believe you, Craig.
That's right. Some people.
Some people. And I think that's how it works. Just say stuff with confidence, look them dead in the eyes and just never back down.
I meant what I said, and it was right. It is the state of America.
It is the state. There's not 50, there's just one. Just one big America.
One big state.
We're all America except for Canada.
And Mexico, down there.
We're coming for you, Canada, but later.
We got to build a wall. What if he campaigned on building a wall at Canada? Just to keep the Canadians out.
I feel like I don't even think the Canadians want to come. I mean, maybe they want the wall. Maybe they'll pay for the wall.
You always build a wall to protect you from the South. So Canada would be totally justified in building a wall. It would make 100% sense.
It totally would, yeah. I would not blame them. So I follow a lot of like different media. It's been my job for the past like 15 years. And my favorite is Mexican state TV because they do not fuck around, man. And like I can't remember what it was, but the whole thing with ivermectin, right? How they were throwing out with ivermectin and all that stuff. And they had this new show, and this guy was on there, and he's just talking, and he's like, coming out of America, there's a growing number of people who believe that horse dewormer will save you from the coronavirus. And this one dude in the corner, like in the panel, just loses his shit. He just can't stop, like he's wheezing. He is wheezing. And he's like, horse dewormer. And I mean, you can find all sorts of stuff that has different side effects, man. Like the medication that I use was started for people with depression, but that's not what it's used for now. Who knows? And then they came out and they're like, ivermectin does nothing. It might actually make you horribly sick. Don't do it. And yet so many people did it. And the crazy thing is like now he's got this the whole thing, he lied about Stormy Daniels. The whole thing when, was it Michael, his fixer, was like, no, he totally knew. And he was doing it. And it's just insane. And so there's a graph here. And it shows, this is the first 1,000 fact checks of the Donald Trump presidency. And it shows he lied, mostly false, 19.5%. False at the highest rate, 37.7%. And pants on fire lies, this is PolitiFact. This is legit. Pants on fire lies. I'm seeing you, Craig, and you are trying really hard not to laugh.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. I do enjoy it.
Exactly. 18.4%.
Yeah, I'm surprised those numbers aren't higher, honestly.
I mean, that's only the first 1,000. Who knows? I just can't get over. It feels like every headline that we get is just more ridiculous than the next, and we're just like,
yeah. He is. Did you ever see the Simpsons episode where Mr. Burns has so many illnesses that like nothing can kill him because the illnesses are all fighting each other? It's like he has so many lies that none of the lies can bring him down because he's told so many lies that it's like, I'm invincible. Just like Mr. Burns was like, I could never die. He's like, actually, you're very ill. You could die at any second. But yet somehow Mr. Burns keeps going, and so does Donald Trump. So
yes,
the parallels there.
It's wild. The Simpsons predicted so much stuff, and they're just, and like, the writers were just thinking about the most ridiculous, slightly plausible things that could happen.
Yeah, this was the episode where Brian just keeps staring at his computer and then being like, I don't understand.
I mean, honestly, I think we're only on episode 5. Craig, I do a pretty good job of breaking your brain, but maybe I broke my own brain.
You broke your own brain here. Yeah, this is the first time, so the audience can know, we are on video for the first time with each other. So I can see him just looking, and just there's this look of exasperation, like, yeah. I don't know what's happening. But like, it's where we've all been for 8 years, or at least most of us, who haven't drank the orange Kool-Aid.
And I mean, listen, you are well entitled to your beliefs. You are well entitled to believe and vote for who your favorite candidate is, but like, why this one?
Come on! But come on, though. I mean, come on.
And like, so I'm looking on CNN Politics, and this guy says, my personal favorite lie. Trump was once named Michigan's Man of the Year.
He said this?
He did.
That's amazing.
Trump never lived in Michigan. Didn't happen. And why would
that have happened?
But why Michigan?
But why would you do that, though? He must have been in Michigan. So he's like, I love it here. They named me Man of the Year. He probably thinks they did. That's the thing. I think he believes his lies.
I mean, that's probably why he's gotten so far. Like if you believe your own lie, it's more. I feel like people are more inclined to believe you if you believe your own lie.
This sounds very George Costanza, but
Yeah.
yes, I agree with you. Yeah.
Hopefully, if this podcast ever hits up traction and people look back at this episode, they're gonna be like, "Wow, that was kind of profound." And really, I'm just bullshitting. The articles, they just get so crazy. He said he was the father of IVF in that women's town hall. Okay, honestly, I'm gonna believe that one. I'm gonna tell you why, Craig. I'm gonna tell you why. I think he used a turkey baster for one of his children because he is how he is, and that's the only way that it would work. I'm gonna say that right now. That's why he's the father of IVF,
because that was the only way it would work.
Exactly. That's what I'm gonna say. I have no factual basis on this, but yes.
But it just kind of makes sense.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, because if you look at his history, he had bone spurs to get out of Vietnam. What the hell is a bone spur? He also,
I think it's a thing. I doubt he had it, but I think it's a thing.
Yeah. Let's see. He did that. He lied about his wealth and he got caught by New York. I mean, at the very least. And these are all facts. These are all facts because I feel like you can say whatever you want about his character, and you'd probably be right. I mean, to be honest.
Unless you said he's an upstanding citizen, in which case, maybe not so much. But, anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, I mean, you can't even say he pays his taxes because he didn't. I mean, all of his businesses failed. Like Trump Steaks, Trump College, even his charity, Trump Charity, was found to be fraudulent.
Fake.
Yeah. So and we knew all these things. This was all record. This was all public record. We knew about these things.
Yeah. And yet somehow he won.
I feel like a lot of people just couldn't believe it. He just did it. But I mean, he has this crazy populist thing that he does. It's just the way that he comes across. And I guess because he's willing to say and do whatever, that people will believe him.
I've given up trying to understand it. I'm to the point now with Donald Trump where I excuse him for who he is because he is who he is. He's not going to change. He's awful. We all know this. I'm more disappointed at this point, the fact that this is the third time around, and yet there's still a giant number of people that are willing to vote for what we all know he is.
Yeah.
Even the people that are voting for him are like, I don't really like him or think that he's good for America, but he hates the same people I hate, and that's important to me.
Yeah, and also it's I would never vote for a woman.
Also, there's that.
I mean, listen, everyone minus a few people, I'm sure it's a handful of people, came from a woman. Okay, it just boggles the mind because Trump just it seems like he hates women. Yet he objectifies them in a way, and he's like, "Oh, this woman's so beautiful. Look at you, Jennifer. You're so beautiful. Look at you in your dress. Oh, how's your day? You're so wonderful." And it's but how are you this way? I can't, watching him talk to, oh God, what was it? What was her name on Fox News? It was so surreal. It's years ago, I was really into World War II, and I watched a video of Hitler talking to Eva Braun, and he was saying, "Oh, why are you videotaping me? You're so beautiful, I should be videotaping you." And it was this weird disconnect of this person who was so factually evil as a human being a human being. And it was so weird. And I think that might be what's happening with Trump is they don't see him as the person he is. They see him as this persona that he's created, and they overlook the lies and all the other stuff, and the fact that he's probably going to have a heart attack soon because all he eats is McDonald's. I honestly, Craig, I broke my own brain
looking at you this whole time. It's I think it's when a gun has something that's messed up with it, and it recoils back and it shoots back on the guy who's actually firing it. You're firing the brain buster. My brain's fine because I've been dealing with this for 8 years, but just watching you try to explain but he is, and why, and how come, and it's I feel for you because I think you have broken your own brain, and
it's true.
It's okay.
And I do research for these. I look up these things. Listen, guys, gals, non-binary homies, we can do better. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
We can just do better. And I'm saying, I don't want to say it's the lesser of two evils, but we can do better. There's an obvious better choice. This is going to come out Sunday or Monday, which will be the 3rd and the 4th.
If you're listening to it and you're making your decision based on this podcast, which feels impossible, but if you were, go ahead and vote Kamala. Just do it.
I mean, there's a clear better choice. to say the least. There's a very clear better choice. Yeah, I'm going to lead with that.
It's good. I have one more thing to say, and that's one of the things that I find most amazing about Donald Trump is that someone can tell you that he said something, and it doesn't matter what it is. You believe that he said it. Like I was with a friend today, and he told me that a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't know about this. You may have already heard of this, but he was down in Arizona and he was reading the teleprompter badly because that's how he reads teleprompters. And he said, "We have a lot of," and the word was Arizonans, but he said, "This is great. You should just pull this up because the video incredible. We have a lot of Azurasians here today," and that sounds like something that someone made up. Azurasian. It sounds like like a comedian. A comedian was coming and making that up, and I'm like, yeah, that probably happened. And I Googled it, and it totally did. We have a lot of Azurasians here today, and I'm just glad that you're all here. It's like, you're in Arizona, dude. Those people are called Arizonans. They are definitely not called Azurasians.
I can't.
But yeah, go ahead and Google that and tell me that he is mentally fit to run the most powerful nation on earth, because I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think so. But, to each his own. But yeah, that's what that happens. And as soon as I heard it, I didn't doubt that person. I'm like, yeah, 100% that happened. And then I Googled it and it 100% did. So it doesn't matter what it is. You could someone can tell you, oh yeah, he was talking about Arnold Palmer's schlong. And you're like, yeah, that probably happened. And then you Google it and yeah, he sure was. Yeah. He's constantly bringing up the late great Hannibal Lecter at all of his rallies.
Who never existed.
Oh yeah, that totally who is a fictional character, and yet he's doing that at all of his rallies. Like no matter what it is that they say he's saying at his rallies, I believe it because he's crazy. He's crazy.
I can't. Like, full disclosure, I've worked in the news for a long time, and every day I'd come in and I'd be like, this is ridiculous. Like, how is this man our president? How?
But why though? Why?
And it's just
why?
I honestly think, Craig, it's desensitization, and people just blocked out that, his inaction with over many inactions, one might say.
Yes, yeah.
COVID killed, nearly 500,000 Americans. Like, what?
Yeah, we're still with it. I don't know. I think it's important to continually point out that this is a crazy person. This is a stupid person, and this is a person who should not be leading the country. And just kind of hope that doesn't fall on deaf ears, because I think we've become desensitized. It's like, oh no, it's just Trump. He's normal. It's like, no, he is not normal. This is not how politicians act. This is wild and crazy, and this shouldn't be happening. But I don't know. We've got 3 days, and hopefully. Every news story I read, it depends on who's writing it. Like, it's either Kamala is definitely going to win or Donald Trump is definitely going to win. Like, and everybody writes it with this conviction that I don't know where you get it from, because I look at it and I have no idea who's going to win, but I'm just hoping against hope that it's not him. But it probably will be, because I don't want it. And that seems to be how these things work.
When this year started, I was very certain Trump would win, because just how he handled just how he was going after Biden. And listen, Biden's grandpappy. Biden's pappy. He's, he lives in your house. He's a well-meaning guy.
He's just a little past his prime.
Yeah, just past his prime. And Trump was just going at it and going at it and going at it and probably because he does nothing. He probably just sits in a recliner and watches Fox News and just, truths or Twitters or whatever he does, he fills in all the people gas him up and get him ready to go. And he, like George Costanza, he just busts in the rally and he's and he just goes crazy, just goes ham. And I think that, yeah, when you put those two side by side, yeah, of course. Who you gonna go for? You're gonna go for the well-meaning grandpappy Biden, or are you gonna go for Uncle Trump there, who's full of vinegar? I get it, but now he's really trying with Kamala, and I think there are times when he just gives up, he's an old man, he's tired. He's almost 80 years old.
He is old and he is tired. He was the oldest president in our history when he was sworn in 8 years ago. He was the oldest one then. Yeah. I mean, since then he's been succeeded by, as you call it, the old grandpappy Joseph Biden. But yeah, we don't have to have octogenarians running the world.
I think that's the big thing is listen guys, for what, 270 years America is run by, with one notable 8-year exception, has been run by old white dudes. Yeah. Give Kamala a chance. Let's give it a shot. I mean, it's only 4 years.
Oh, well, I'm glad we didn't spend the entire show ripping on Donald Trump, because that would have been obnoxious.
Craig, I'm going to be honest. It really is. It's low-hanging fruit, man. And, with the election coming up, just make an informed decision. That's all I ask. I'm trying to be as impartial as possible, but, just make an informed decision.
It seems rather obvious. But hey.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows indeed. So, All right.
This is going to be a great pitch. I feel it in my jellies.
I was gonna say it's time for the movie pitch.
Yeah, I almost forgot last week. This week I'm not going to forget. I'm not going to.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go crazy. Mine's really, really simple. Mine is just a feel-good film
Okay.
where more people come out and vote for Kamala Harris across the country than vote for Donald Trump. And then by 10 p.m. on Tuesday night, it's such a landslide that we know who the next president's going to be, and he can't sue his way into power or try to do a January 6th. He can't do any kind of breaking up of the way the system works because it was just so obvious that he lost. And then everybody goes to bed happy, and it's just it's probably not a good film, but it makes you feel good. That's my pitch. My pitch is just Kamala wins. That's the entirety of my pitch. It's not a great movie pitch, but it's all I can handle right now.
That's fair.
So that's what I did with our political movie pitch. But I am dying to hear, between shoe sniffing Cockney day traders and Donald Trump, what's brewing in your brain, because it's gonna be good.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be bigly. It's okay. So it's going to be a very dark comedy. Okay.
I like it.
So Donald Trump, he wins the election. He can't run again, and by some grace of God, he can only be president twice. So none of that shenaniganry. Also, he's 83 at this point. So he's at the White House, and everything finally catches up to him, and it's like a financial dark comedy, right? And he's trying to sell the White House. Okay. He's trying to sell the White House. Okay, he's got it listed, and people are like, "What?" But he won't be deterred, and they just kind of let him do his thing because
what are you gonna do?
They've been letting him do his thing, and so people come in, and one scene is where he's there, and he's like, "This is our shoe rack. It's a lovely shoe rack. It was Melania found it in one of the places where she's from in Scandinavia. I don't remember where. They all have weird names. I can't pronounce them. But look at all these beautiful shoes. Look at these. These are my Trump Force 45s." And you see some guy, and he's talking. Yep. Just on camera, listening, grabs it, and just
sniffing away.
People whiff.
Nostrils deep.
Just filling his lungs with. I'm gonna vomit if I finish this sentence, so I'm not going to.
We all saw where it was going. Filling his lungs with.
We all know where this is going.
No one.
I might puke.
Thank you for not finishing that sentence. We all knew where it was headed.
Yes. And then it goes on, and then they follow up, and then they're following him around, and that same guy, that same shoe sniffer guy, is just eating all the cookies. That's just taking the platter and just eating the cookies, and they're like, "Dude, what? Why are you eating all the White House cookies? Bro, did you not? Do you need a snack? You've eaten 50 cookies, bro." And he's just like, "Can I have some milk with this? This would be really down. My throat's kind of dry, just eating all these cookies."
My lungs were recently filled with unholy vileness. I need some milk.
I need some milk to wash everything down. And he's still trying to sell the White House, and then obviously when it ends, he doesn't sell the White House because
I don't think you can sell the White
House. Would you legally sell the White House? Could you? I
don't think you can sell the White House. I think it belongs to the people.
I think it. Yeah, either that or the federal government, or there's got to be somewhere in there where you can't sell the White House. But it would definitely be a dark like a dark comedy, and I don't even know what the title would be. It'd probably be here's a good one. What is the avenue that it's on?
Pennsylvania.
Selling Pennsylvania Avenue. Yeah.
Is it 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue? Selling. Yeah. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Selling.
That would be a good title.
Or selling 1500. I think it's on 15.
Oh. Yeah.
There you go.
Much better.
Selling 15.
Do you want to add a scene to this movie? I mean, it's so rife with everything, and think of just all the sight gags you could do.
I just want at some point there to be a pan way out, and Kamala's sitting on the front lawn with both of her hands up, what? Really? And just that.
Yeah.
Just that. That's all I want.
What do you think the White House would sell for? I mean, it was built in 18 whatever. Because it did burn down.
Can you Zillow the White House just to see what it would I don't know what that neighborhood.
Maybe you could get what do they call it? A zestimate.
Yeah.
Let's get a zestimate on 1500 Pennsylvania. Oh wow, you can't. The only closest is 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue, Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. That'd be weird if you had the same address as the White House, but you were in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, let's see.
It is
Let's
1500 though,
see.
right? I hope it is, because selling 1500 is so good.
Feels right. That feels right. Apparently, it's a house for rent, and I'm not gonna lie. I've looked at a lot of houses. Looks kind of like a crap shack.
Oh, the one in Columbus?
Yeah, I'm not gonna bag on them, but it looks like the house has not been kept up, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want to be like that one jerk.
It's just not for you, Brian.
Yeah, it's just not for me. You know what? It's not for me. And
It is 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue. I just Googled it.
okay,
I feel good. I feel good about my random trivia knowledge of the address of the White House.
you know that was better than I did. I thought it was Washington. I'm so I didn't fail American history, but there's some things that have probably replaced those memories, and it might be because like I'm big into politics. You know this, Craig. It's kind of my thing. It's probably full of just political fact nonsense at this point.
You had an hour and 10 minutes worth of stuff to jam in there, so yeah. At this point, and as we've already discussed, your brain has been broken already.
It's true. So
and I'm not sure yours is able to bounce back as easily as mine because it doesn't get broken as much. So we'll have to do some intense therapy this week.
that's true. We'll just play a lot of Pokemon Go. Who's the raid boss? Well, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out.
We'll figure that all out.
figure that all
We'll
out.
figure that all out.
But until then, Craig, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do until then?
You got to read the back of the Q-tip box.
Untitled with Brian and Craig is produced and edited by me, Brian Dunnigan. It is also hosted by me, Brian Dunnigan, as well as Craig Dodge. Opening and ending themes are created by AI, so nobody has license to those.